I'm Kaylee. I'm a senior at Cardinal Gibbons, and I was chosen to go to World Youth Day to represent kind of like my senior class along with 6 other seniors, so it was a really cool experience.
I'm Bryce. I went to Immaculata for 9 years, and now I'm at Cardinal Gibbons and I'm a sophomore, and I was the only sophomore on the trip, and so I felt pretty lucky to be chosen to be the only sophomore.
I'm Leo Fitzsimmons. I've been a teacher at Immaculata off and on for 19 years, and I've been part of the parish for 28 years.
My highlight 100% was like the amount of people that I got to meet over the world. This was my first time out of North America, so to be able to go to Portugal, not only like a brand new country, but to meet people from like almost every country in the world was something that you can't really do when you travel most of the time.
I heard there was every country in the world had at least one person representing other than one country. I just thought it was so cool to see everyone there, like more than 1.7 million people all there for the same reason. It just, it like had me struck. Like I was speechless.
We took a group of 20 kids from Cardinal Gibbons, 17 kids, 3 counselors, and they were incredible. Like they said the rosary on their own, they went to adoration with such humility, the masses they were part of, they were singing, they were dancing, and I kept thinking, these are 17-year-old kids that could be doing anything in their summer break, right? Going to the beach and hanging out, and these 1.5 million kids decided to spend 11 days worshiping God.
Well, I think the biggest thing that he kind of kept emphasizing was how the youth is the future of the Catholic Church. He kept talking about how
there's one night we finish adoration, it's 8 o'clock, it's really late, it's getting dark, and this priest stands up and is like, anyone who's considering the priesthood, please stand up. And the amount of youth that stood up, you wouldn't believe it. Like thousands of people must have stood up then, and you're just like, all these people are willing to the rest of their lives commit themselves to God. Pope Francis really stressed the fact that you are our future and we need you to keep this Catholic Church going.
There were so many people that wanted to stay in touch after World Youth Day, which I thought was really cool. Like the people that came to World Youth Day were not just there for forming relationships there, they wanted to continue those relationships after the trip, which really was one of our main goals going there.
Well, the first night when we did our highs, lows, and God moment, where we each share a high of the day, the low of the day, and then a God moment we had, by the end of the trip, we had to split up into 3 different groups because there's 60 people doing it, not even from our group, random people just sharing their highs, lows, and God's moment. It's literally dead silent for adoration. We have an hour of adoration, and it is crazy. There must have been thousands of people at this part. It wasn't everyone, but it was a good chunk of people, and everyone was just dead silent for an hour straight. And then all of a sudden, the Eucharist went away, and beach balls were starting to get thrown out, and all of a sudden, priests just started jamming out on the stage, and everyone was just, this huge concert broke out in different languages, a ton of different languages, and everyone was just singing and dancing with each other.
Obviously, one of the challenges of doing something like this is you're meeting people that don't necessarily speak your language or don't understand what you're saying. But one of the big things with that concert is kind of like Bryce was saying, we were all singing and dancing to sometimes lyrics we couldn't understand, but that joy didn't have a language barrier.
One thing Pope Francis did stress a lot was bring this energy back to where you're going, spread it. You don't get off high, you want to keep helping. We've started Bible studies, and we started with about 6 people. The most we got last year was about 12 people at the Bible studies in the mornings at Gibbons, and we already had 63 kids one day.
We will soon begin once a month a youth mass. Our youth minister, Maritza Manufano Ortiz, can lead the effort, and we have a new music minister, a young man, James, and they're terrific. So there will be some new opportunities to inject that new enthusiasm and the spirit and then the faith to come to share with other people.
So I think they found a strength in all our Catholic traditions that's helping them to be strong and to keep it out there. And that was really fun to hear and to hear what they're doing coming back.
The vigil mass, that's with like more than 1.5 million people all in the same area. You have an hour adoration at like we were all exhausted. It must have been like 11 o'clock at night, and it's been playing loud music nonstop, and we had just had a 6-hour walk to this giant field in 100-degree heat, so we were exhausted. But as soon, and we couldn't see anything from where we were. We were about 2 miles back from the stage, but they had huge screens, and as soon as they put the Eucharist out there, the entire more than 1.5 million people went dead silent for an hour. Like, you could have heard a bird chirping in the distance. It's cool to be experiencing it with my dad and my sister, just being there with them and like both seeing all of our faith grow. And it's like, I've never seen them that happy, I'm going to be honest. I mean,
For high schoolers, and specifically like, lower classmen boys, there's almost like a stigma about faith. Like, you're not as open about it. It's not as celebrated. It's not as talked about. And so to like see him be the only lower classman of our entire school that was chosen to do this, like, obviously that was intentional. He was chosen for a reason. It's because of like how strong his faith is. But then to see him get to meet with other younger teenage boys from all over the world to like break that stigma was really, really cool. Because again, it kind of showed like, you're not alone in your faith, no matter like how old you are or what gender you are, you're not alone in your faith. And so that was cool to see.
And thank you for guiding them.
thank you.
So, God bless you. Peace and love.